Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another podcast episode of Mind is Matter. I cannot believe we are in October. It is October 7th. Oh my goodness. Lots has happened this year. And in fact, this has been one of the most fun, exciting, changing years for myself. I don't know about you, but things are really, really ramping up. And 2025 is about to be freaking explosive. OMG. Plus, the number 2 in 2025, the other number 2 and the number 5 all add up to 9. That means closing out of old cycles, exiting one realm and entering into another. Have you been seeing 1111 a lot, or 111, or 777, or 77? These are portal numbers, okay? They represent walking into a new era of the self. So last week, we talked about how to navigate chaos while shifting in life. And a lot of people loved that episode because it talked about something that isn't always brought up when you start to make changes in your life. When you make changes in your life into how you think, how you feel, how you act, what you believe, your world is going to become chaotic. I don't care who you are, where you're from. It's going to happen. It has to happen because all that we see in this 3D world is residue of everything we've been thinking, feeling, and how we've been acting and what we've been believing. That residue is being shaken up. Okay? It's like a gold pan sifter, someone who's sifting gold out of dirt. You got to shake that sucker and all the dirt's going to fall, but at the end of it, there's going to be gold there. So if you can stick around through the trenches, through the fire, through the crazy stuff that's going to happen in your life, you are going to have such value in yourself and so much self-love, you won't know what to do with yourself. You won't need anybody anymore to validate you, to make you feel important, feel worthy, and all these things. You don't need anybody. You know that you are yourself because of what you've been through, what you put yourself through. Because we're putting ourselves through suffering, whether it's suffering by accident, by having a chaotic and disruptive and dysfunctional toxic lifestyle, or suffering by being dedicated, suffering by having discipline, suffering by having the ability to say no to things. That's very, very tough for some people. And right now I'm on a 3-day fruit cleanse. So I'm saying no to not much food, right? Vegans don't eat a lot. Just kidding. We eat quite a bit, but I have put myself in a state of suffering for a time just because I love to recalibrate. I like to remind myself of what's important when it comes to food, digestion, cleansing in terms of the body and things like that. I really, really just appreciate what this always brings. And I don't know, it feels really good to do. So I encourage you, if you've never done a fruit cleanse before, hit me up because there is a proper way to do it that I learned from someone on Instagram. Her name is The Vegan Auntie. Amazing woman. Vegan, Vegan, Auntie, Auntie, I believe is how she spells it. She did a 7-day fruit cleanse years ago, and actually it was just last year. Jesus, feels like years ago. It was in 2023. Did this fruit cleanse, amazing, changed my life. I'd said I'd never do it again, but here I am doing it again, okay? So enjoy that if you do it. Let me know what your results are. But let's jump into it, right? Because again, last time we talked about how to navigate chaos while shifting in life. The first thing was to recognize what chaos is, right? What it feels like to be in a chaotic state of being. That's the number one thing. You got to become aware of these things, okay? And that is feeling overwhelmed, feeling stuck, feeling reactive to things, not really having a foothold on things that are going on in your life, kind of just going with the motions, trying to figure it all out. Like, oh my God, I forgot to do that. I forgot to do this. I forgot to do this. Or, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this again and again and again. You got to recognize what it even feels like. Because some people don't know that they're living in a chaotic state, right? Some people just think that that's how life is supposed to be, and it's not. The second thing we went over was victim mentality and how it fuels chaos itself. Okay, having a victim mentality, meaning blaming someone else, blaming something else, blaming anything else except yourself for your condition in life, that is what actually helps to fuel chaos taking place because you don't have control. If you're blaming everything and everyone else, who's really in charge? Everything and everyone. But then what's the hierarchy? Is my boss more in charge than my wife, or my wife more in charge than my kids, or my kids more in charge of me than my pet, and my pet more in charge of me than the person at the grocery store? Like, what's in charge here? You see how that works? Or doesn't? Then we went over the steps to be okay in chaos. First thing was acceptance. Accept I'm in a chaotic ass state and I don't know what to do about it. First thing, can't change anything until you get there. The second step was action. And some action steps that we took, one small step for people was being able to organize a space, like for your own self, to retreat and to ground. Setting boundaries, right? Remember I just said saying no? Yeah, you got to set boundaries, family. Third thing was starting a new habit, okay? This would be adding a new mantra to your wake-up routine. And that's a little sneak peek of what we're going to get into today, actually. And then the third step in the steps to be okay in chaos is ownership. Own it. Whatever you decide to do, you got to own that sucker. Okay? If you decide, okay, from now on, when I wake up, I'm going to do X, Y, or Z, you got to own that. You got to be that. You have to actually embody it, family. It's nice to think about things. It's nice to imagine. Imagination is the most powerful tool that we actually have as an asset. Imagination and attention. But when we don't use it properly, when we're just sitting there imagining things to change and nothing changes, we then have to say, okay, what is it that I'm imagining? Okay, what am I taking ownership of in my imagination that's causing these things to continue? It's pretty crazy. And then the last thing last week that we talked about was staying empowered, having mindset shifts. I gave you some mantras to use. One would be, I choose how I respond, right? That was a good one that I really liked. What did you pick? I'm just curious. If you listened to last week's episode and now you're listening to this one, which mantra did you pick? I'm so curious. And if you want to go ahead and add that into the chat below, please do. And then we finally anchored that in, right? We anchored in the mantra using a hand gesture on the heart, breathing techniques, things like that. So this week's episode, we're going to turn some chaos into order. It's going to be very quick, very easy to do. So what we do have control over is the first thing we have to really pay attention to. Let me ask you, what do you have control over today? We just went over it. We have control over us, ourselves, how we are being, how we're showing up. That's it. No one else, nothing else. Okay. But where in your life, reflect on this. Other than yourself, have you been trying to control? What in your life have you been trying to control outside of yourself? Your job, your kids, your family, your friends, your dog, the person at the store, the person driving in front of you, the person riding your butt behind you in the car. What have you been trying to control other than yourself? And as you reflect on that, I want to really bring out the easiest lead in order to live a more orderly life. This is something that I personally have used, but not just myself. I did not come up with all this on my own, family. There have been mentors and teachers and books and articles and videos that I've just compiled. What are the best ways to really get out of certain things, out of certain chaotic states of being? Okay, but the most powerful thing for me has always been a powerful freaking wake up routine, like AM routine, 100%. If you don't want to hear that, that's just resistance coming from your old self, because your old self wants to stay the same. It wants to do the same thing, but get a different result. It wants to act the same way, but get a different result out of life. That old person, you have the choice to ignore, right? But the resistance you're feeling, you can let that out by actually feeling, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling resistance toward having a different wake-up routine? Why? Is it because maybe I believe that it doesn't matter what I do when I wake up, my life's not going to change anyway? Could it be, well, even if I do change my AM routine, that means everything else has to change around it? Those are just resistors, right? Those are resistors to change. And when you can overcome that, your life's going to be crazy, crazy amazing. So what is your AM routine from the moment that you open your eyes? What do you do? Because I'm going to go through a quick synopsis of what I do. And these are, again, very powerful and empowering tools that you can get from anywhere else. Okay. You don't have to come here to Mind Does Matter to get it. I've pretty much mastered my AM routine. I didn't think I ever could. I started it out maybe 4 or 5 years ago. You know what? I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And I had 5, 6 things on the list. And then slowly I went down to 1 or 2 that I was actually committed to do every single day. Once I got those 1 or 2 mastered, I added a 3rd, then a 4th, then a 5th, right? Then a 6th. I think I'm up to 6 or 7. But my wake up routine turned from 30 minutes to 2.5 hours. But how powerful. Like, what is the rest of your day? Think about the amount of hours you have in a waking day. 24 minus 8, that gives us 16 hours awake, right? So what's your AM routine? Do you wake up and the first thing you do is just get up and go to get up, check your phone, respond to messages, look at who called you, and then go brush your teeth, wash your face, take a shower maybe, and maybe some of you work out, right? Some people work out 3-4 days a week, 5 days a week, 7 days a week. Like, what's your AM routine? Just dissect that for me just for a second. I'll give you a moment. And if you have an opportunity, pause this and write it down. Like, write down what your AM routine is currently. And then I'll give you a very, very powerful wake up AM routine that you're just going to love. You're going to love this. Okay. So for me, the very first thing that I do when I wake up, like literally I do nothing else. I go to YouTube, or I actually go to this notes that I have in my phone. Okay. I created a little note in my iPhone. I'll show it to you. I pinned it to the top. See, this number 1 at the top. So every day I wake up, I don't have to look at anything else. I go straight to these notes. And then right here, this is my notes for the AM. So I'll read all of this. Okay. And then I have a bunch of videos I've saved that are affirmations and mantras. So you see all that, right? That's like how many videos? 15 different ones. And yes, I've done them. I've done some of these like literally over 100 times because I just love how they make me feel in the AM. But the reason why, and we'll dive actually into this next week. This is next week topic, is diving into each one of these steps of the AM routine in detail. So I'm not going to go too deep into the mantras and the affirmations. But when you do them, you want to use feelings. You want to use visualization. Okay. You don't just want to say, I enter into the theater of my mind and I see myself as I am inside. I see myself as I wish to be. You don't want to just start saying that without having the feeling behind it, right? You got to invoke some type of feeling. And this is going to cause you to actually create how you feel, because you can do that if no one's told you. The second thing, so the first thing I do, first thing in the AM, go to that note, open up my mantras, my affirmations for the AM for the day. Second thing I do every day is meditate. Second thing I do, I get up from my bed after I'm done with my affirmations, meditation, and I'll get up. I have fallen asleep, by the way, a couple times, okay? Because if I'm really tired and I'm still laying there doing the affirmation, that thing will put me right to sleep. Then I'll wake up. So if I'm too tired, I get up and I actually come out to the couch. But meditate, right? Second thing I do guided meditations. I do self-guided meditations. Whichever one fits your boat the most is probably going to be guided at first. But I do guided meditations. And I do them to get me calm, number 1. And again, we'll dive in deeper. One of them is to get me calm. I meditate twice every day, twice in the AM, right? And then sometimes at night too, as well. That's one thing I'm about to incorporate into my life, is more of a nightly routine. But after meditating twice, I go into my yoga. So my affirmations could take 15, 20 minutes. The meditation is at least 30 minutes. So you got about 50 minutes there. And then if it goes up to an hour, then you've got an hour and 20 minutes. Just depends on how much time I have in my day. And then secondly, you've got yoga, or thirdly, that's yoga. So while I'm doing yoga, I could just have some pretty music playing in the background, keeping me calm and all that stuff. But I've gotten to the point where I want to hear affirmations. I want to be downloaded with information that's going to help to solidify beliefs in my mind that I want to have, that'll get me to places like behind me on the screen, right? That's where I'm at. That's where I want to be, is like the person who wakes up, knows what they want, has what they want, and continues to grow, continues to change, continues to evolve and transform, and do it out of the goodness of their heart, not do it to hurt anybody, do it only to make things better. That's like one of my biggest fucking dreams. And it's something I actually get to live. I keep calling it a dream, but I'm living it, yo. I'm living it. It's amazing. Amazing. It's crazy when your dreams become reality. Let me tell you that much. But what you want to do is, when you're doing yoga or stretching or working out, you can play music all you want, but that music is downloading information into your mind, into your body, into your soul. Okay? Why not replace the music with affirmations, mantras, or subliminals? Subliminals are something that happen on TV screens every day. If you don't know what a subliminal message is, look it up. And then you can also look up subliminals, like on YouTube. You could look up subliminals for taking action. And you're going to see, you want to vet these people, use your intuition as well. But you're going to see a ton of different content show up just about subliminal, like 2, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, 30 minute long videos with music playing, but in the background there's subliminal speech going on, meaning it's saying, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am strong. It's saying things in the background so your subconscious can actually grab onto it and download it without your conscious mind being in the way. So while I'm doing yoga, I have those things playing for me. So I'm not doing a lot of work. I'm doing my morning routine. I'm doing my AM routine, but I'm also allowing something else, which is a tool, to download information into me while I'm calm, while I'm stretching, while I'm focused. You know what I'm saying? You like that? Good. So always, it literally doesn't matter. Even if I want to freaking listen to music or something else, like there's some days where I'm like, I don't want to hear this same thing over again. Trust me, I get there too. There are days where you don't want to do the same thing over and over and over again. I understand, baby. But again, you're going to suffer either way. You're going to suffer in your comfort and not getting to where you want to be, or you're going to suffer in your discipline to get exactly what you want in life. Either way, it's your choice. The next thing I do is I take a cold shower. Okay, now this is going from hot to cold. So I take a hot shower, wash my body, get all the germs and dust mites off, and then I turn that sucker to cold intentionally. Okay, turn it to cold, and I turn around so that the cold water hits the back of my neck. Okay, and it is cold, right? And I do it for at least 60 seconds. For me, I'm telling you, 60 seconds. I really do it for 2 minutes. Like, I stop timing it once you get used to it. You're kind of like, oh, okay, cool. I could do this for a little bit longer. You just kind of go at your own pace. Some people start with 30 seconds. I started with 60 seconds and moved my way up. I can go up to 5 minutes in the cold shower once I turn it cold. Then what I do is I get dressed and get ready. Guess what? When I'm showering, when I'm getting ready, those affirmations, those subliminals, those mantras, they're on. They're on for basically an hour and a half to 2 hours every day. I've got affirmations, mantras, positive ones, downloading into my brain, downloading into my system. You see what I mean? Like, that stuff is so powerful. You got 16 hours in a day. If you just wake up, get dressed, go to work, I mean, that's 16 hours of chaos. You follow me? How about providing some order at the beginning? And will your life end up being perfect and magical 3 days later? It could. Okay, anything is possible. Likely, though, it's going to take some time for that to calibrate, for your mind to actually be like, oh, okay, this is how we think now. I get it. I got it. It takes about 100 times of repeating one affirmation or one subliminal or one mantra in order for your mind to actually start to accept it. So you got to do these things over and over again, because repetition is the greatest teacher. I'll tell you that much. Then 2 last things that I do is I look in the mirror at myself and remind myself how amazing I am, how amazing God is, and how amazing life is. So I'm looking dead in my eyes, staring at myself. Sometimes I'm brought to tears at just how incredible it is to be alive. But I do this every day, right? And then finally, I get to check my messages. I get to check my emails. I get to call people back. I get to answer phone calls. I will ignore phone calls in my AM routine, and the people closest to me know that. Like, it's a phys act. Okay. If you call me 2-3 times, okay, I'll pick up the phone, make sure you're good. But for the most part, it's off, right? Like, do not disturb is on. Even my favorites, they'll come through, but I have to ignore that. Sometimes during meditation, I hear a ping. That's only helping me to become more and more able to be focused, right? But my AM routine, very powerful routine. If you can lock in some of these things, whatever reaches out to you the most, do that. And I'll go over each one, like I said, in more detail in separate podcasts of their own, because they all do deserve their own spot. First thing I do, mantras or affirmations. Very first thing, if I'm laying in bed, if I'm too tired, I get up and come to the couch. Then I'll turn on the mantras and affirmations. Second, I meditate. Third, yoga. Fourth, cold shower. Fifth, get dressed and get ready. Sixth, look in that damn mirror and say how freaking amazing it is to be alive. And then seventh, I actually get to the phone. So I'm wondering, how are you going to switch up your AM routine? Comment it inside the comment section here. Or you can message me at 909-633-8340. That is a phone that I actually do have. It's the phone I'm recording on actually right now. And it's a business line just for people who want to learn how to expand themselves, people who want to just share one-on-one with me instead of kind of live on the internet. All that stuff stays non-disclosed. So there's an informal NDA right here for you. Never will disclose it, never will share it, never will use it as a testimony or anything like that. Never will happen, okay? If you hit me on Instagram, that's a different story. But if you text that cell phone number I just gave you, 909-633-8340, that is the direct line to Mind is Matter. And you are going to get a response or you're going to get something back from that, okay? Contributed. So let's recap. Number one, the first thing we got to realize is what we have control over, and that's ourselves, okay? Nothing new here. You're not new to the club. Second thing is the easiest way to bring order to chaos is with an AM routine, a wake-up routine, something that you do every day that brings you clarity, centers you back into yourself and who you know you are inside and have to bring out of you because of the programming and all this other that's gone on in life. And then finally, how will you switch it up? So next time, we're going to dive into the mantras, affirmations, and we're going to spice it up with a little bit of visualization. But for now, I hope that you liked it because this right here has changed my whole life. My whole life. It changed everything about me. It changed how I believe, changed how I walked, how I talked, how I thought, how I move. Everything has changed just from simply having a powerful ass AM routine. Now, will you incorporate all 7 things? No. But if you look at your phone first thing in the AM, I probably was the first person on the internet. And I'm not even trying to brag. I'm just saying I never heard people talk about it as much as I have in the past. You gotta get your cell phone out of your face when you wake up, fam. The only reason it should be open is to turn on those affirmations, turn on some videos, type in, journal in it, something where it's about you, okay? Don't go diving into what the rest of the world is doing until you get yourself straight. Let's do that together, shall we? So I love you. You know I do. Love you so much. I don't do this for me. I do this for you. I do this for God. I do this for the Creator. I do this straight from my heart. I don't have a choice in this, okay? And I just wanted to make that clear because a lot of people will question, well, why are you doing this? Why does she even care? What is the point? Is it for money? Is it for fame? It's literally because I do not have a choice. I've lived an amazing, beautiful, crazy ass life. And through that life, I found so many things that help me. And I know how to help people. I know how to get you from point A to B. I know how to get you out of stress, out of overwhelm, and into a more secure self, a more secure being. Like being who you are authentically. I know how to do that. That's what's crazy to me. It's crazy to me, fam. But guess what? Each and every one of us has a gift, has a tool, has something to bring to the world. Every time that you react in chaos instead of respond, you're giving that power away to create yourself what you want. Every time someone says something nasty to you and inside you get this feeling of resistance and you don't handle that feeling just turns into more. And it just creates this disgusting web of more and more and more of it. So I want to help people because we're not here by ourselves. Like there's other people who actually need you. I don't think you realize that. There's other people who need you to become the person that you really are inside and to live as that being. So I'm here to encourage you to do that. And on this episode, I love you so much. On every episode, I love you so much. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your love. And thank yourself for being here for yourself. This is a short 25 minutes. It's not going to take too much time. So if you decide to like, share, and subscribe, I promise you more and more good content's going to come. This is just the free stuff. When you're actually in my program, Break Out to Break Free, you're going to actually learn the specific tools that are right for you because not everything works for everyone. Okay, there are certain few exceptions to that where it works for anybody, no matter who you are. But there are certain ways to get to that point where you even can accept that, right? Because a lot of the times I realize with my clients is they don't even accept that they create their own reality. And I'm like, damn, that's where we got to start. We got to get that belief intact. Okay. And there's specific ways for you that you can do that. And I can help you to find those ways because they're within you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're going to tell me how to help you. That's the tricky part. I love you. Let me stop rambling and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah! Peace, love, abundance, freedom, joy, health, happiness, wealth, money, prestige, luxury, everything good is all inside of you.